Beautiful.
Perfect.
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone.
We're just going to make sure it's working before we jump into this, but if it is, wait, I got to do the big one. Hello, and welcome to this live stream. I'm Timothy von Rueden, better known as vonnart online, and I'm joined by my boyfriend and wonderful moderator for the stream, Josh.
Hello.
And today I'm going to be working on penciling the Jack of Clubs that we started working on last week. We did kind of the digital draft on the iPad. I printed it out on like a 2% opacity on a mixed media Strathmore paper. And I kind of went a little further than I wanted to last night. I thought I would only do like an outline, but I don't know, I was in a zone. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going. So today I'm going to even go more into like the detailing parts. I'll probably darken quite a lot of the values, but I'm also making him a little bit more, I don't even know how to word this, like more aquatica than I was originally planning. I wanted the mermaids to have more of a human-esque, or human-like. I'm just making up words left and right. More of like a human look to them. And like only when under their abdomen would it kind of turn into the fishy scales and the more mermaid part of them. But I think I'm going to pull some of those aquatic elements up. And I currently have those leafy sea dragon seahorses on my phone on Pinterest as like my reference, as you can kind of see here. And I'm going to be pulling a lot of that into his body. I've already started pulling it into the rib cage and doing kind of the leaves down. And I might be doing even more of that kind of in the abdomen a little bit, and then pulling it down for sure into the tail, and then giving more of those leafy, fin-like appendages on his body. So that's what I'll be mostly working on, and then I'll definitely be cleaning up a lot of kind of the areas that are still a little messy, and then really darken up some of the values so you guys can see what that would look like. So if you have any questions during the stream, just please put @vonnart. Thankfully, we have Josh here to help mod. I'm not going to be looking up and down throughout the stream, and I should be pretty focused over here. And then we're going to jump right into it because I have a tendency to ramble, and if we did the full introduction, it would take like 10 minutes. So I'm just going to start drawing while we do some of what's new in the last week. I feel like there actually was a lot that happened this last week, and we'll kind of jump into it. And if to get started, if you want to put where you're watching from, and then Josh will do the shout outs, and we'll just kind of go from there. Nice. So if we want to minimize us.
There we go.
Oh, look at that magic.
We're so little.
Yeah, Josh figured out how to remove the green screen, so now it's just a giant drawing in the background. Oh, that's where my hand cut off.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I lost my hand for today.
In the fin.
Right. So the main things I wanted to... well, no, I guess you can go first if there's any questions too. Oh, hey, Ella. Hello.
Ella here. Hello, Ella. Got Amber says, I have to watch with the sound off because hubby's watching telly. I mean, that's kind of scary, watching us with no sound, no context.
Right. Just working on this, like, naked mer person, basically.
Felix, I still want to finish my sketch from last week, but right now I have to 3D model a car for work, which turns out to be more work than I imagined.
Ooh. I remember when I did 3D modeling, anything that was hard surface, it can be a little easier, but it's also kind of meticulous. It's not really my favorite thing to do. So I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I hope that the car goes very smoothly.
Jen says, Evanar, humanist, easy, just give him a major in English.
Yeah.
Elena says, yet again, have housekeeping and dinner to do while watching, so not sketching, but oh well. Ella said, I got a scare seeing the hand suddenly showing up on screen.
The what is?
The giant hand.
Oh, yes.
There it is.
Right, wait. How do I do that? Give you bunny ears?
Those are big bunny ears. I would just fall over. Jen says also hello from Denmark. Hello, Jens. Eli D says hello from Oregon. Carlos.
Hello.
Tijuana, Baja, California, Mexico. Hello, Carlos. Anna Marie says, hello, I'm watching from Romania in Eastern Europe.
Oh, well, hello all the way. And we're streaming in Wisconsin, United States. So that's quite a way to stream.
Turkey says, oh no comfy fireplace. I liked the fireplace, but Tim wanted to try this out, so...
Oh yeah, we're going to be experimenting with a bunch of different backdrops, things either moving. Definitely I want like a banner right here. Oh, it's so weird having like giant hands. With like my face right here. That's so weird.
There's two of
I
you.
can literally like pick you up, just.
That actually is a pretty nice setup there, you know, though. But I do miss the fireplace. I thought it was cozy. And someone pointed out in the YouTube video that your
Oh.
head was on fire too.
I'm surprised no one said in the chat my head was on fire the entire stream. Like the entire stream, I was on fire.
You brought so much warmth to that stream.
I really brought the heat for sure.
Wishy says hello from Finland. Valfire says hello from Ohio. I'm also working alongside you on my own artwork. 5 days in.
Ayo.
Nice.
Oh, and we should mention, if you guys are working alongside the stream, we have a Discord below that you can join, and we kind of keep the conversation going there. But we also like to see what people are working on while we're streaming. So if you want to post at the end of the stream, or even if you have to leave early, you can still post it there, and then we'll definitely check it out. And then if you are one of my Patreon backers, you'll know that I have been on the Discord at least a few times every day, and I do updates on the card deck that I'm working on, the tarot deck. Actually, I can show you guys a glimpse. I just finished the latest card. So here is the reveal of the Queen of Wands. And what's really nice about this one is it's based off of one of my cousin's fiance. I still don't know the proper name for that yet, but Josh did a tarot reading for her in, what was it, July of last year? And it was probably the best reading I'll ever be a part of, possibly. I mean, I don't know any that have come close to that so far. And I used her likeness for the card. And she even came over, we did a photo shoot. It was pretty fun. And we're gonna surprise her. She doesn't know that I finished it, and I really want to like give it the original to her in person as like a present. So we're gonna somehow set that
It's
up.
gorgeous. Though.
But we're gonna probably post this tonight, and then the reels tomorrow of it. So if you want to see it more up close or on Instagram, that is where it will be. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
You have to send her it too before you post it, almost, just so she can see.
I know.
I don't know how to.
I have to post it later tonight though, and
I feel like she's not a heavy Instagram user, so maybe she won't even.
right. I know. I was
See
saying
it,
that
yeah.
too. I was like, well, she's a busy girl.
Yeah. Let's see. Lena says this is definitely bizarre with the camera. That gives a good view of both. Right? I know it's kind of nice that you get this little spot behind us that you normally wouldn't see.
It's weird. I like this. I think we said to add more fun elements
Yeah.
to it. You know, I mean, the fire was nice. Maybe if we do like special streams, we could have the fire. Like if I'm not drawing, if we're just talking, we could bring the fire back.
We'll figure it out. There's so, I mean, now that we have the green screen, I feel like there's so much weird stuff we can do with it.
Yeah, even if you guys have any ideas, because I know Josh watches a few streamers, but I guess if there's any other crazy things people do with green screens, we'd like to know.
Jen says I'm making dinner right now, but intend to go back to sketching while eating when I am done.
Well, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Enjoy cooking. Nicholas says hello from Toronto. Timothy, I watched a video from December of 2020 you did with the witch and goblins. And it had some great advice in it about not letting others get you down. Love you too.
Oh, well, thank you. That stream was great. I mean, there were a lot of complexities to that one, but it was a community interaction stream where, for those of you who don't know, sometimes I do it where I'll do a live stream and we'll throw ideas back and forth, and then we'll kind of create an illustration together. That's how the collector was created, one of my the hardest drawings I've ever done, with the 230 arms and hands, and we had people submitting their own hands, and the story kind of came together. It was really cool. So I do want to do more of those this year eventually. I know once the mermaid deck is finished, which will probably be around May, late May, the streams then could kind of take some different routes, and we can have fun with more of the draw-alongs, or I don't know, do more fun ones. I know Josh really wants to do like a pancake one some Sundays, so we'll probably set up things upstairs on one of the Sundays and just have like a pancake stream, and then probably record like a small tutorial on just how to make your vegan pancakes. And yeah, we're hoping to do more fun stuff. I think for right now though, we're going to stick to this schedule for the next few months, just so we can kind of get back into the routine of streaming again and go from there.
We can make some mimosas too.
I've learned, side story. We went to Wisconsin Dells this weekend, and it's like a water park kind of like a touristy, trappy type place.
Definitely,
We love it.
It's fun.
They have this place called Wizard Quest, which is probably the main reason we go, but we'll talk about that later. We went to a spa on Saturday, and I surprised Josh by we got pedicures for the first time. Or is it pedicure? Yeah,
Pedicure, yeah, the feet.
I've never had a pedicure in my life. I've never even had a manicure, any of those kind of like self-care polishing things I've never done. So we did the pedicure and it was amazing.
It was so nice.
It was like on par with getting a massage, I want to say. And the people that we had were really fun.
We just chatted the whole time. It was
Good.
crazy stories, yeah. Wait, but mimosa, right?
Oh my gosh, that's right. Why did I even bring up this story? So
mimosa leads into a pedicure.
And I finished. I can't
You just stop.
There's no correlation whatsoever. When we were in the waiting room, they offered us mimosas, and we obviously took it. I realized I'm not a fan of mimosas.
Wait, I don't remember you not liking it.
Like, I'll drink it. It's not like a Jägermeister where it's absolutely not.
Are you even gay, Tim? Mimosas are like the rite of passage.
I'm trying to think of what the gayest drink is. I mean, mimosas definitely.
Mimosas. I love a good mimosa.
I feel like,
especially with breakfast, it's just like you don't feel like you're drinking.
Slushy margaritas are also up there for sure.
Oh, I love slushy margaritas.
Just colorful fruity drinks for sure.
But
yeah, mimosa's definitely up there. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think because I don't like juice that much anymore. So then having like orange juice and champagne. Anyways, that's the story of mimosa.
And they're not like that heavy to drink either. Alright, I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. California. Cameron, hello from California. Nice stream upgrades.
Hello, hello.
Metal Sausage, hello from the Philippines.
Well, hello, Metal Sausage.
Felix says I'm definitely expecting some style editing at some point. We could do that.
I would love that. So, for those of you who don't know, it's the drag duo combo of Katya and Trixie Mattel. And I have watched probably every episode of it, and I find Trixie to be hilarious. But also, Trixie's a Milwaukee queen. So, like, we share the same type of Wisconsin blood. The thing that's most funny, though, is her and I think kind of you too, we all have like a similar humor. Where it's like we can definitely poke fun at anything because we don't take anything too seriously.
Yeah, Trixie's just
and
like,
then it's really good at poking fun at
everything's
yourself, which I think is actually a really good learning lesson just to have in general. Oh, wait, really quick. While we're on the topic of Drag Queens, season 14 premiered last Friday, and I kind of want to know if anyone else has been watching it, who are your front runners? I think we definitely have ours, but I guess we'll reveal it after.
I mean, I don't want to give spoilers either, so.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we won't say who went home or anything, but I definitely want to say who I want to win out of the first 7.
I think I have one. This screen is so tiny. We definitely need to get a different monitor though. Maybe you can use the one I have upstairs.
Oh, Amy. Hi,
Do you see
Tim and
how
Josh.
tiny these are? Sometimes I have to squint.
Do you really?
I do, yeah. Well, not
oh my
like
god, Tim, it's so gorgeous. Get out of here. Wait, what are you talking about, Ella? Wait,
probably
what?
the tarot, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Stream delay.
See, this is why I shouldn't be looking at the comments because I have no idea where you're at.
Amy says, I've just been working on making soap. Ooh.
That's something I've always wanted to do, but I don't know why. For me, I feel like besides Dove, I haven't found a soap brand that doesn't make my skin feel...
That's where if you make your own, you could put oils and stuff in that you like. My mom used to make soap, and it was nice. Because you can flavor it how you like, put essential oils in.
Oh no, I got you started to call everything flavor.
Oh, the scent. You can scent it.
No, you can keep saying flavor. I think it's funny.
It's like all-encompassing to me. Flavor is smell and taste, and I don't know.
No, I agree. That's why I do it too.
Eli says solidarity for a fellow gay who doesn't dig mimosas. I don't really drink though, so my opinion might not count.
Here.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, you know what this is right now?
What?
You can't even chat.
I don't know. I'm gonna figure out really quick while we're sitting here though. There's got to be a
No,
way.
I wouldn't even try doing it live. You lost. You lost the game.
Is
You
action?
lost.
No, I'm trying it
Oh.
quick.
Okay, if the stream cuts out, it's because Josh is trying to be fancy right now.
Why? It's so strange. I wish it would let me do it there. No, I have to
Wait,
go
let's
out
go to
separate.
YouTube. Right here. Wait.
Oh,
Let me see. Right here.
Oh yeah, but we have it on the other screen too.
Because you, seeing that other gays don't like mimosas, just
Oh, that is
deserves
my face.
the new emoji that we just added this morning. So thank you, Ella, for kind of giving
Ella,
to
I love
that
it.
last minute.
I'll even included my little birthmark, which I love too. It's those details.
So for those who would like to use the schwa gasp emoji, we have the member button somewhere below, and it's only $2 a month, but then you can react with emojis. I do want to do member comment only streams in the future as well. So if you want to be a part of that, I might do it for like critique streams. So I'll only do it for people that subscribe to the membership on YouTube, and then I'll have you guys like send me your work, and then we'll critique it live. I used to do a lot more of the critiquing streams, but I think because I'm trying to be more focused on these projects, I kind of put them on the back burner as well. But like I said, once this Merm deck is over, I think we'll move back to some of the fun, more community-involved stuff.
Catching up. But we should try soap sometime.
Yeah.
Ella says, in regards to the tarot, I love the values and subtle changes in contrast. You really have outdone yourself. You also had a gorgeous model. She's so pretty. Yeah, Olivia is just like one of those people you get to know her even too, and she becomes even more pretty. Like she's just a gorgeous person all around.
And I think Olivia has that regal quality where they're attractive, not in like a sexy way, but in a very genuine attractiveness. I know that sounds weird to say about like a cousin's fiance, but we're gay, so I guess it kind of plays out. But I do think as a person, she's just one of the best people I've ever met in my life. She's very warm. She's very encompassing. She's surprisingly funny for being more like a motherly person.
She's like quiet, but she'll be funny. She has her moments where she just like says something, and you're like, "Whoa, where did that come from?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's very insightful. So I'm so glad that she's getting acquired into the family. She'll be a Von soon.
Ella, colorful fruity drinks are the best. Tim is missing out. Right? You like some.
I like
you like that slushy we had at the resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while we were at the Dells this past weekend, we went to the Kalahari, which is this huge like safari African style water park, which low key we might have our wedding reception there someday. But at the water park, they serve these giant glasses that they were like $35. They were far too expensive until we ordered one, because then the refills, they're like refillable cups.
They're like 30 ounces though. They're huge.
But the refills are 25. I still thought that was overpriced, but then we got one. Oh my gosh, the amount, I felt it. I wasn't even halfway through the glass, and I felt mine.
I mean, Tim and I are not heavy drinkers, but like
No.
when we're at a, I don't know, event or something, it's fun just to have one little drink. But I feel like normally our day to day we never drink. It's
No.
only if it's at a friend's place or at a resort. But that was almost too much for both of us.
What was funny is the first day we got this pina colada mix, which I thought I would love because I love pina coladas. And then it was so alcohol
It was strong.
driven.
You couldn't even taste the pina colada.
It was rough.
Is pina colada gin, right? All you could taste
Rum.
was the rum. Okay.
Which
That's right. 'Cause it's
I do
darker.
like rum, but I don't like when it's like rum coconut slushy when it's meant to be more. Well, I guess that is a pina colada, but
Yeah,
this one was way too much rum, not enough pina colada.
it was interesting.
And then Josh got this bomb pop drink, which are those popsicles, the red, white, blue ones. That was actually the bomb. That was so good. So then on Saturday we ordered the bomb pop.
A 30-ounce
refill.
bomb pop.
We didn't even finish it though. We got to stop doing that. I think we overestimate what we're able to do or like drink, and then we never come through.
Like, yeah.
No.
Turkey says, what are your zodiac signs?
I am a Libra. I'm not sure about any of the rising. I'd have to double check. I know my mom just found my birth certificate apparently, like literally two
Oh
days
wow.
ago. So I'll be able to find out. I'm one of those people where I love astrology. I don't fully believe in it, but I love the idea of believing in it. Kind of like crystals. I don't fully believe that certain crystals give you whatever they claim to, but I am a huge believer in the placebo effect. So if you believe that citrine rocks and having them around you will give you wealth and abundance and positive vibes, then there is a little bit of manifesting on your end and then placeboing that into life. So that's how I kind of see like tarot and astrology and crystals. Uh, so yeah, but what's weird is I really do feel like a Libra. I know I ramble,
Yeah.
but I really, really, really do feel like a Libra, and I hated it as a kid. I hated being the scales. Everyone else got to be like a
This is such
fish.
a journey right now. I don't believe it. I like to believe in the idea of it, but I don't believe in it.
But
But I
also I
do really
believe in
feel
it.
like a I'm a
I'm
Gemini.
being, what's that called when you're like, well, I guess this is kind of Libra-y because they stay in the middle.
Did you have that 30 ounce this morning, Tim?
I just downed it really quick.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini.
But I do want to say,
Me
now
answering questions compared to Tim too. It's like, where are we going right now?
you
Okay.
gotta expunge on it.
Okay. Okay. You
Because
are.
I'm definitely more of like a storyteller-based person, so I feel like
Yes.
it's hard for me just to give a single answer. I just want to say I do feel like a Libra now that I'm older. Okay, I'll end it there. I used to hate it, now I love it.
Okay.
I do think that's another series I will do eventually too, just like a Zodiac series. I know my sister harps on me for this a lot. My sister is very blunt. I would say my family is just blunt in general, and I think that's where I get it from. But she always is like, "Why are you doing a tarot deck?" She's like, "Tim, if you want to make sales, you got to do a Zodiac." She's like, "People are into that, right?"
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's true though.
Not wrong, and like I also love it, but I have to want to do it. I don't want money to be my main reason for doing something.
Well, our friend Nate does the really cool.
Actually, speaking of gays,
Yeah.
yeah, our our friends Nate and Frankie, they moved back to Wisconsin. They were living in New York for a long time, and I grew up with Nate. We used to do like the Boy Scout camp together. We used to be those kids that would pretend we had superpowers with our other friend Blummer, and it would be like ice fire, and I was psychic. And we would go in the forest and literally pretend we have powers and like push each other and like get hurt. And then we created these storylines that were, I'm sure now hindsight, kind of cringy. But Nate moved back and he's doing the Zodiac series. If you guys are interested in checking out his work, he does giant, like 5 foot canvas um, drawings with a micron pen. So he's kind of like me in a sense of we're very patient and we are okay working detail. I'm sure we'll have. Yeah, actually, could you
I'll
link
link just
his
that.
Instagram? Oh yeah, actually,
Yeah.
there we go.
Here's a link to his website. Oh my gosh, I have to go here instead.
And then could you also post that on the Discord? On the stream, what is it, follow along channel?
Got it pulled up.
Beautiful. So yeah, they are actually the friends that we are going to be going to on Friday to watch Drag Race. And then they also convinced me and Josh to try out drag for the first time, like full tryout. And last Friday, was it last Friday? No, it wasn't. Whenever it was, they had us try on the heels, and they had like these power wedge heels. They were like that one pair was like 4 inches or like
Oh,
four and
yeah.
a half. I thought it would be very difficult to walk in heels, but actually, I feel like I kind of picked it up pretty quick.
Mhm.
And then I was watching you. I was like, well, who knows with Josh because he kind of like Bambi with some things. You picked it up too.
I got it.
I was.
I mean, I
was
don't know
impressed.
how a full day would be in them though. I feel like that would start getting
No, those would
painful.
come off after a half hour. I don't. To any girls that are watching this right now, I don't know how you wear high heels that are like high heels for more than an hour. I don't think I could.
I'm excited to try it out though.
Yeah, so we're gonna be trying full drag probably in March or sometime.
I mean, you have
And-
those pictures on your phone. Although we'll wait.
Yeah, we're not sharing the initial.
Those are not good.
We got the wigs in yesterday, and I'll just say Josh is going more for like Marilyn Monroe, and then I'm doing kind of like a Lana Del Rey vibe. So we'll see what actually comes to fruition, but we're gonna try it.
Elena says, I blame my dad for me only really ordering gin and tonic based cocktails.
I'm telling
Those
you,
are
that's what
classy,
I'm getting
though.
into now. If I do drink hard liquor, which, like I said, very rare, uh, gin on the rocks, whiskey on the rocks, specifically right now, Crown Royal on
Just
the
like a
rocks,
sipping drink is what
a
you
sipping
like.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with ice. So then it's kind of watered down after like a half hour, anyways. Um, but I much prefer that over, gosh, like any sugary fruity drink. Or they're not Trulies. I do like seltzers.
Mhm.
What are they called?
Oh, the
Carbless.
carbless, yeah.
Carbless. Those are really good.
Felix says, I just don't drink, period. Gay party culture is not for me. Isker says, I'm with you on that, Felix. Yeah, I mean, we don't really drink that often, thankfully, though. I
It
mean,
it was for me in my mid 20s, early and mid 20s. I definitely did a lot of partying. We did
same,
a lot of
yeah.
clubs. But it was never raunchy. Like I think sometimes when people think of the party scene, I mean that's I know how you assumed it would was for me, but I would always go out with like mostly straight friends. We'd go to a gay club like after a convention. So we would do a convention all day, go to a club at night, wake up the next day and go back to the convention. So we were never getting plastered, we were never getting faded or any of that.
No, I definitely was at raunchy ones.
You were probably at more raunchy
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
I loved it, but now that I'm in my 30s, I'm too old. I feel like I enjoy uh, just hanging out with friends at night, maybe going in a hot tub. Like we went to Wizard Quest over the weekend as like our break, you know. But I get it. It's not for everyone, and I totally respect that too.
Elena says, or actually, Damien says, I see you from Argentina, love you. Why, hello,
Hello,
Damien.
hello.
Elena says, a huge bunch of my family is Taurus, and it shows, including me. I can't even remember like what my parents are, honestly, which is bad. I know that I'd have to look it up right now. I don't know what my families are. No,
I
my
actually don't
dad's a
know my family
Gemini.
either. Oh, is he?
Yeah, my dad's June 6th. I think that's already, yeah, that's Gemini. Um, Jen says, Tarot and Zodiac is all fun and games until you have a new religious order intend on world domination. Also, you don't get any judgment from me. Me and my friends played as Digimon.
Okay.
Oh, that's the best.
I loved Digimon growing up. Like
I never
before
watched-
I got in, or you go.
I never watched Pokemon. I only watched Digimon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh never even played the Pokemon games growing up, which to me as a millennial, I'm like, how did you avoid that in America?
I played Digimon games too. I like Digimon a lot.
Digimon World 1 and 2 were the bomb.
Yeah.
But Digimon specifically influenced me so hard growing up because before I had Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X and SSX 3 and Twist Metal Black, all the things that like really started my influence gears, I had Digimon. And I think that's why I still to this day draw longer arm proportions. And they do a lot of asymmetry, which I really like. And they're very like weirdly fixated on details. Like if you look at Angelomon or Piedmon, any of them, they have very strange proportions, but it just feels well put together and not just like a random, kind of like some of the new Pokemon where you're like, did anyone actually give thought to this? But the storylines in Digimon 2, I loved them as a kid. Watching them as an adult, you're like, well,
They're a little
they're definitely
cringy,
more for
but
kids. But I love that the focus was on the villains. When you think of Digimon, especially the arcs that the first season had, you think of Devimon, Myotismon, and then the Dark Masters. And I just had this weird fixation on.
Oh, Josh C, thank you for
Well, thank you,
subscribing.
Josh. I had this weird fixation on villains then growing up. And then the end of Digimon, I feel like I can spoil it because it's, like almost 20 years. No, it's more than 20 years at this point. Uh, it ends really sad. It ends with them defeating the main Dark Master bad guy, and then the Digimon are basically. They tell the kids, they're like, okay, you get 10 minutes with your Digimon, and then we're going to send you back to the real world, and you'll never see them again. So make this last conversation count. And then they do, like, one by one, they film each of the conversations that the kids have with the Digimon. I was beyond heartbroken as
Yeah,
a
that was
kid.
distressing,
Just
honestly.
tears, like, nonstop. And then I've told Josh this before. I would like go at the time the internet was like kind of still new, but I would try to find any information of like what's happening with Digimon, and the only thing I could find was like the things about like Mimi moving to the United States, and I printed out what someone's like rumor theoried about it, and I brought it to my mom, and I was like, "Mom, is this what's really happening?"
Oh.
My mom's like, "What the hell's Digimon?" Oh
Oh my
gosh.
god. No, that was distressing as a kid, though. Me and my sister both
Yes.
watched it, and we were bawling. Like, I didn't know how to handle it. I was like, you get so attached. I imagine if they just ended the show there. That would have been.
I, to be honest, I kind of wish they just ended it there because season two wasn't bad. Just not
It's
my
just
cup of
bad.
tea. Actually, I like season three better than season two.
I mean, my guilty pleasure, though, is the Digimon movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, the Digimon movie was directed by Masoda. Oh gosh, I don't remember his name fully, but uh, he's directed recent movies like The Boy and the Beast, the new Belle movie that just came out. Actually, it's coming to theaters next week.
Which one?
Belle. It's like
Oh,
his take on Beauty and the Beast, but it has a
wait, isn't that
very
like the third one now? There's the French one.
yeah, but this is the anime one
Oh.
because he also directed Summer Wars, and he directed the Digimon movie.
Hey now. You're an astronaut.
That soundtrack.
That soundtrack, I had the physical CD for that
Same.
movie. Yeah,
Same.
it's just called Belle.
Yeah. Belle. Yep. There it is.
Oh, January 14th.
See?
Actually,
Oh, in 2 days.
Oh my god.
We could watch it next Tuesday. Marcus Theaters in Wisconsin does like a Tuesday $5
But I want to go
deal.
see Nightmare Alley really bad. We could do a 2-movie night.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not a big fan of double decker movies at the theater, but
Think about the popcorn I can eat. Just kidding.
we do have to watch Nightmare Alley though too.
I'm gonna catch up though. Comments too.
Oh yeah, catch up. And I guess really quick for those who might be like, what is Tim even doing with the drawing? I'm just filling in some of the darker parts because I want his tail fin to represent the club. So I need to make it a little darker to contrast, and especially for his arm, I want to really stand out against the dark background. So that's what I'll be doing while Josh is catching up.
Oh yes. You played at having powers. Elena says you played at having powers. Me and my childhood best friend had a massive long running play of being Pokemon trainers. That actually sounds really fun though too.
So I definitely did some of that as well. We would usually play it at my friend Blummer's house, and he had a pool, so we'd always create these storylines of like water Pokemon. I remember one of them specifically was I really liked Gyarados, and I love the idea of like this useless fish Magikarp becoming a Gyarados. So I'd always have this thing of like me drowning in the pool and like sinking to the bottom, and then my Magikarp evolving to save me. It was so cheesy. I think at the time I thought it was like so cleverly written and well thought out, but I'm sure looking back it would just be like a kid sinking to the bottom of a pool.
I mean, yeah. Trying to think. I mean, I would always do. We always had like Lord of the Rings stuff, or played. I had like a play bow and arrow, so I'd run around our
Oh,
yard.
did you really?
Yeah, I'd just run around the yard with it and pretend like I was fighting orcs. I definitely did a lot of Lord of the Rings. Was my thing.
I could definitely see that for you.
But I did do some Digimon too because we actually had Digivices. Those like
Uh-huh.
they were like the Tamagotchi ones.
Oh, I didn't have the time. I had the crest, not the Digivice.
Okay, but it was shaped like a Digivice, so I could feel like I was actually like, using it and
That's cute.
Digivolving. I was like hearing what people did for make believe.
I know this is actually pretty fun to see.
Ayaskar says, "What is the darkest, softest pencil you use, and when do you use it?"
So like even right now, I'm using an HB Kimberly General pencil. Here, let me get in focus. There we go. And then you can see how dark it kind of gets. And then mind you, this whole area here was all a 2H. When people ask me, I get this question probably every day on Instagram DM, is how do you not smudge? I work with a 2H pencil, and it's very hard to smudge this unless if you are like rubbing it. And I mean, you'll still see some of the graphite on this hand. This is like,
Your Casper cuts. I'm sorry.
oh, I know on this hand.
Oh my God, Tim, what?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Nah, what is that? The risk you take of owning a cat. But even with this drawing, I probably won't pull my darker pencil out until I do a whole pass with the HB. And it's probably hard to see on camera, but I'm doing some of the rubbing already here because now that I'm working with an HB, this pencil will smudge because it's softer. And I have to be careful of where I place my hand, and that's why I'm working left to right as well. That's like the easiest way to avoid rubbing. And I'm distracted right now, Josh. It looks like the club is coming out of your head.
Oh wow.
Looks like you're this giant feather
What are
boa
those like
thing.
burlesque or what those are with the big feathers?
Like a Vegas showgirl.
Yeah. Lena says, yes, the same generation. A lot of Pokemon and a lot of playing Pokemon and Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird because my family, we weren't allowed to do Pokemon for some reason, but Digimon was okay. But
Which you
there's
would
a
think
big
would
thing.
be even more controversial in like the religious community because they're evolving.
Right? For some reason, though, Pokemon though was supposed to be it apparently supported evolution, so it was just like a whole thing. I mean, there's always things are always changing in those communities where like one parent would have an issue, so then all of their parents have the issues with it too. So it wasn't ever like a thing, but
Yeah, I guess for those who don't know,
I love
Josh grew up
Digimon,
in a
though.
very, well, how do you even describe it? Very strict religious upbringing, we'll say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things just always changed. But I liked I was happy I had Digimon though.
And somehow
regrets.
you got Harry Potter, which
And
I
I
still
got
don't
Harry.
understand.
No, my parents were thankfully very lenient on that one. They weren't for the first bit, but then they were like, "Nah, it's fine." And I'm happy too because my nieces and stuff are watching it too, so I think that's really good. I loved Harry Potter.
And we didn't watch the 20th anniversary thing yet.
I know. I want to watch it so bad, but it's one of those things where I know after I watch it,
It
it's
won't
like,
be
well,
there
what's
anymore.
next then? Yeah, because Fantastic Beasts ain't it.
Tell us how
Yeah.
you really feel.
Sorry.
Dang.
Lena says, I was obsessed with Digimon and Pokemon. Digimon for the story and Pokemon for the concept.
Yep, same. I liked the Pokemon. Well, I love Digimon World, but I thought the Pokemon games were actually a little better. And I liked the idea of having like multiple Pokemon, where with Digimon it's only one, which is fine.
I'm so mad. I put marshmallows in our hot cocoa and I can't get to them right now. I'm gonna have to go get a spoon in a little bit.
That's okay. Actually, if you go get it, could you sharpen this pencil for me?
Oh yes.
Well, let me do a quick pass.
And I'm like, I'm just sitting here on camera trying to like use my mouth to try to reach the marshmallow.
Nothing to see
They're
here.
just out of reach. I could try, but that's the one you need to sharpen.
Well, it's weird. It's like sometimes I actually don't like when my pencils are super sharp, but when I need to do more of like hyper render focusing details, I need a sharper pencil. But for like big areas to fill in, I definitely prefer a more blunt, rounded tip. Okay, maybe I'll give you the pencil now. Actually, give me a question I can answer then when you go upstairs.
Okay, I'm highlighted the one where I'm at right now.
I'm sure I could ramble on anything, but...
Yes. I have your back.
Okay. Ella says, me and my best friend created our own version of magical horses, basically a My Little Ponies fan fiction, but cooler, of course. My only connection with My Little Pony is my sister had a few, and I remember playing with them in the bathtub as a kid. But there was one movie, I could not tell you what the name of it is, but it was scary. It had the mer ponies, or like pony mermaids. I don't even know what they were called. But the main bad guy, like turns the My Little Ponies into these scary dragon creatures, and gosh, I could not tell you what it was called, but as a kid, I was like 4. It terrified me, like 4 or 5. So if you saw that one, you would know what I'm talking about. Elena says, I drew Angemon so many times as a kid. Yeah, I was definitely one of those kids that drew a lot of Angemon, Angewomon, Devimon, Piedmon, Myotismon. Those 5 specifically I drew all the time. Oops. Scroll up. There we go. Jen says, I can't believe so many artists had their artistic infatuation from Digimon. Or infatuation or, well, I guess both. They had incredible 80s inspired designs. I drew so much fan art of Angemon. Oh, even to this day, sometimes I'll draw these characters that have helmets or like face shields, but it only covers right under the nose. That has to be a subconscious Angewomon design element inspiration. Maybe not even subconscious, probably consciously I'm doing that. But absolutely, Digimon had a huge impact on how I draw. Oh, thank you. What am I going to do with the spoon?
Start working.
Oh, to get the marshmallows?
Yeah.
And don't worry, they're vegan marshmallows. We found one in a grocery store nearby.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Elena says, I never saw most of the last story arc of Digimon until I was much older. Glad I didn't see the heartbreaking ending until I was in my 20s. It was legit traumatizing for me as a kid. But it kind of led on this strange path where I started really connecting with things that were more melancholic. After Digimon, I think after Digimon was Kingdom Hearts. And the ending of Kingdom Hearts, for those of you who don't know, spoiler, is kind of a sad ending. Sora and Kairi split on separate islands with the possibility of never seeing each other again. And then after that, I played Final Fantasy X. I'm not going to say anything because Josh hasn't seen it, but devastating. I do think that game ripped me apart.
Wait, which one?
Final Fantasy X.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm replaying it right now, and Josh doesn't know what happens in the end. And I'm so close to beating it. I'm very excited for you to see what made me so devastated as a kid. But now I latch on to sadder stories. And I think it was like the same year I played Final Fantasy X, I watched Moulin Rouge for the first time, which, spoiler, ends bad. And it was like this great love, and then like they conquered the biggest thing that they would have to conquer as like a struggle in a couple, and she ends up dying right after they defeat it. And I think it was just like one thing after another. And then, the thing that finally was like my arc of grade school, I watched Spirited Away, which, yeah, it may not be like a sad ending, but she leaves the world that she grew and had so much experience in with the possibility of never returning and seeing Haku or any of the friends that she made the past summer. And it was kind of sad. So it was just like a lot of punches that I got. It was like between me being in sixth grade and 8th grade, it was like a lot of sad, melancholic endings. And I think that just stuck with me now as an adult. I think a lot of even the little stories I create, sometimes they're not the happiest of endings.
I still really want you to play Final Fantasy 14. Just for the story.
Well, I mean, I'll try it sometime, but I'm not an MMO person. I just know I'm not.
I like the story so much. I mean, every expansion had a pretty good story, even. Where did you? Because you left off. Okay, there we go. Digimon Try was so amazing to watch. Such nostalgia. We should try it again.
We watched the first episode, but I was so afraid that it would ruin my nostalgia for it that we stopped. But I've heard good things about it, so I do want to watch it eventually.
I remember liking the art style too. Thought it looked good.
Yeah, I didn't mind the art style. I mean, it's definitely a little different, but it didn't bother me. Oof.
Jen says, have you watched the original Digimon short movies?
I only watched the one that was with Kairi and Tai in their bedroom, and when they first see Greymon fight, what's the insect's name? Kuwagamon? That's the only one I know of.
I feel like I vaguely remember watching them, but I can't remember them. I think I might have watched them. I'm trying to remember if we had the VHS for those or not. I honestly can't remember.
I don't know if they even made the shorts into a VHS though.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Maybe
they did. I don't know.
We had one of the seasons, I thought, on VHS, I remember. Ella says Old Bella's coming out soon. I've had my eyes in the trailers, but I didn't know it was so soon. Yeah, that's exciting
Yeah.
to know. I didn't even honestly know about that, so
I haven't seen the trailer yet because I've now made a rule for myself. If there's a movie I want to see, I don't watch the trailer for it. I've learned that trailers give away way too much, and I'm definitely one of those people who I hate spoilers. I think it does impact your viewing experience, my personal opinion, but I think it does impact it. So I would rather not know any imagery that I can look forward to or like wait on, because we watched the French Dispatch in October, or no, well whenever it
it
was,
was November. I can't
and
remember,
it
but
was
yeah.
lovely. But I didn't see the trailer for it. But I knew I wanted to watch it because it's Wes Anderson. And then after we got home, we watched the trailer, and I'm like, wow, they would have given away a lot. And I would have been like waiting for these moments the whole time while viewing it. But going in blind and not having any set expectation, I do think is the best way to see a movie personally. So I actually don't even know the trailer for Belle. I just
I,
know I like the director.
it's crazy because when you watch them, sometimes there'll be the ending scene in a trailer even.
That's
Just
the
weird,
worst.
yeah.
Because then the whole time you're like, oh, remember what was that one movie, Minari, the A24 movie,
Yeah.
where apparently you said you and D watched a trailer where the house was on fire at one point,
Yeah, the trailer shows the house on fire, so then
and
the
the
entire
whole
movie,
time,
you're like, when's it gonna happen?
yeah. So, anyways, I hope it's good. I have no idea what it's about besides Beauty and the Beast, like
I-
new take on it.
I love this username though. You this read wrong says I recently read a sad but beautiful book called The Song of Achilles, and I imagine the characters with your art style, especially specifically Achilles and oh my gosh, I hate this one. Hang on,
He's Greek.
Patroclus.
Where?
Patroclus. Oh my gosh.
Patroclus? I have no
Patroclus.
idea.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know the story of Achilles besides the whole heel thing. But I don't even know what the full heel thing is. I just know that from the Hercules
I feel like
movie.
I've heard of this one.
I'll say you read some Greek stuff.
I read the. Oh my god, what was the name? That one. I did enjoy it. He came out with the second one too. Oh. Son Gonzalez, thank you for subscribing.
Thank you.
Oh my god, what was the name of the book? I have a really bad habit of rereading a book and I don't even remember the name of the book I'm reading though.
Was it the one that you thought was funny?
Yeah.
Where they do like satire takes on the Greek.
I hope it would just show up right here.
Oh,
Was it
Mythos.
It was the one before this though, the Stephen Fry one.
I thought it was Mythos. No?
The cover is different, but yeah, I think this was the one. Oh, yeah, I think they changed the cover. Yeah, the Stephen Fry one though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Josh is trying to get back into reading. What are you reading right now? Are you just reading? Oh, Lord of the
Lord of the
Rings.
Rings again.
That's right.
Usually, lately I've just not been finding a book I want to read. I don't know. I have the list still that everyone recommended to in one of the streams, so I want to get through some of those. But usually I just default to Lord of the Rings or Hobbit if I'm, I don't know, just not vibing with anything yet.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like the older we get, the more we realize, like, if we're going to get invested into a book that will probably consume minimum 30 hours of your life, like, you want it to be worthwhile. Because nowadays with, like, Netflix and television media or series, even if you binged a whole season, it might be like 8 to 10 hours. It's still way less time than a book. And if it was a terrible season, well, at least you didn't waste that many hours, which is sad. I don't think that should be the way that people view books and like other forms of media.
Felix says right now I'm listening to the Miss Peregrine's Home for audiobooks and just realized how bad the movie adaptation actually is.
That's what everyone told me too.
Actually, it's sad because I think the movie kind of had me stop reading them. And I know I follow the author on Instagram, so I know he's making new ones in that series too. But I kind of dropped it after the movie. And I don't know why I did that. Sometimes I feel like the movie can put this weird imagery in your head about it then when you're reading it. But I think
you go.
I definitely want to read those again because I remember loving the first two books. I like binge read those ones.
I was gonna say, you know what did that for me was Aragon.
Aragon, yeah.
Loved the book so much, and then the movie I thought was atrocious.
Well, that's when I never saw the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
then you
why
could
I
still
wanna.
read.
I liked Aragon. I never read the other two though, so I would like to go through those.
You should keep reading because I can't unsee the
Yeah.
film now.
Uh,
Sorry for those who like Aragon that are watching.
One of your friends likes it, doesn't they? Don't they?
Tijol loves the
Oh, that's
movie.
right, Tijol.
And I think he recognizes it as a guilty pleasure, but I have the same thing. Like the challenge, the MTV series is definitely a guilty pleasure. Like 13 Ghosts around Halloween time, definitely a guilty pleasure. Like things that a Cobra Kai,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
definitely a
Cobra
guilty
Kai.
pleasure.
I do think also a young 20 thing is I watched a lot of movies though when I was like super high. So I kind of forgot a lot of movies too, which I'm happy because I think some of the movies like I think I might have watched Aragon, I don't think I did though.
See, that's
See what
a
I mean?
problem.
That yeah. Do not smoke.
I feel like your memory has been affected by your past of smoking.
Yeah. I mean in some ways good though.
No.
Elena says it's called Belle. We'll look into it when it comes out in Finland. Yeah, so yep, Belle. I literally just searched Belle movie and it showed up right away.
I mean, the anime movie I saw recently, or it was last year with Josh, was called Children of the Sea. If you're okay
that
with
was
the
cute.
more trippier, cute,
I thought it was cute.
it gets a little trippier in like the third act, and I loved it. I love the direction it took. It got very strange, and then the way they depicted water is probably the best way I've ever seen animation
that
depict water.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What
I
did you
remember-
think I was talking about?
I think I was thinking Ponyo in my head or something for some reason.
Oh,
Ponyo was
Ponyo's
cute.
fine. I think I can appreciate some of the elements, but I think as a whole, I don't think it's the best of his work. Actually, I don't think it's the best of his work. I would say it's one of the weaker ones, to be honest. But all subjective.
Just making sure I didn't miss anyone. Turkey says I did Digivice and it broke and mom threw it out. And I'm still devastated to this day.
Oh, I
You
would
could
be
have still
so
used it.
upset. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as an adult we tend to just be like, well, it's worthless now. But as a kid you're like, this is still, my imagination can still use this thing.
I actually had a really bad problem with the Pokemon cards. I never really traded them ever. And there was one time these two kids convinced me to trade. It wasn't even like good cards. It was like, what's the second one? Kakuna, and it was another card. But I traded with them, and I remember the next morning before I got on the bus, I was like, I woke up early. I was so in a mind funk, and I just sat in the downstairs family room and like, I didn't cry, but I was just like sitting and like I was devastated. I was like, I abandoned these two creatures that entrusted me.
Oh.
I was such a sensitive kid with some things, but then so boldly cold with other things. I think when things I felt were like entrusted in me, if I felt like I let that down, it was like devastating for me. So trading those cards, I actually asked for them back.
I mean, did you get them back?
So me as a kid, I wasn't the popular kid necessarily, but I was friends with the popular kids, and they would always do stuff for me. They had my back, and I remember I told them I really wanted these cards back, and they stole it back. I know. Actually, there's some things I definitely regret as a kid. I feel like I instigated things because I told my friends how I was like devastated that I lost my Kakuna card. So then they literally asked the person that I traded with if they could see their cards on the bus. They would literally go through and then they swiped the two cards that I traded to them and then gave the deck back. The emote. I'm sorry to, I think it was Tyler back in the day. I'm so sorry that happened. I don't even think you noticed because they weren't good cards. But I feel like as an adult, I need to own up to these terrible things that I enacted as a child. That was one of them for sure.
I just remember my mom gave me this little sailboat. It was almost like little plastic sailboat things. We went to the ocean,
Oh, yeah.
and it got taken off in the wave, and I lost it. And I remember crying the entire day then because I just felt like, kind of like you, where I was entrusted with something, and I felt like I had to protect this little sailboat,
Mm-hmm.
and it washed away. And my mom was like, "I don't care," but I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I missed the little boat." But I definitely had that with my stuffed animals, though. More like my stuffed animals were.
Oh, I never lost
I
a
don't.
stuffed
I never want
animal.
to leave them out. And when I would sleep too, I felt if I left one off the bed, I felt like they would feel abandoned or something or sad. So then everyone would have to be in the bed with me.
You know what also might have affected us too, though, growing up was Toy Story came out when.
Oh, Toy
Well, I was
Story.
7. You were what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, I was a baby.
And I think it did create this weird thing as a kid of like you can't abandon your toys, or else they might develop these weird codependency mental health issues like Woody did. And I definitely had that with my Beanie Babies. Actually, I was so nuts with the Beanie Babies. Do you know that they all have a birth date? So I had a calendar where I wrote down every Beanie Baby I had. I wrote down when their birthday was on the
Oh
calendar.
my god.
And then there was one time when my friend came over where we like did a dual celebration of the birthdays. It was the goose, whichever I forgot which, or the swan. I forgot the name, but then we also did a wedding.
Oh
So we had
my
two of the Beanie
god,
Babies
these
get
Beanie
married.
Babies.
So we had the two at the front, and like one of the bears was the clergy, the priest. We literally made like rows of Beanie Babies just facing forward. I feel like kids nowadays don't have this level of imagination. Or
I mean,
I don't even know if I
there's
want to say
kids out
imagination.
there.
We were just really bored. Like we didn't have like at the time I barely had PlayStation. But for the most part, I was always just doing things with toys or like action figures. My brother built me a wrestling ring, so I would literally on Napster and LimeWire. No, it was Napster at the time. I would download the theme songs of the wrestlers and then click on my. I remember doing it in my mom's computer area, and I would click play. And then under the, the desk, I would have them like walk out, and I would usually have like a flashlight that would be the
Oh my god.
the main light. I That's why when I try to tell people, I was a very strange kid in the sense that I just had a lot of time by myself. I didn't really have siblings because they were 8 years older than I was, so they didn't like play with me.
I
So I
mean,
was
I
just
would
by
play alone
myself.
most of the time too.
What? I thought you and Amber were always doing things together.
Mm-mm. No, because Amber is 6 years older than me.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah. I mean, because even when I played Playmobil, I would actually like hum the songs or like do them.
What songs were in Playmobil?
No, because you know the game Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah.
I used to like play that game out with my Playmobil. So I'd have to collect like little spirits around the house, and they'd like go to different lands to go
Oh.
collect the spirit,
Mhm.
and there'd be like music for that area. Um,
Like low key, I'm kind of glad we didn't grow up with technology to where it is today.
I mean, there's pros and cons, but I definitely think yeah.
I think it gave me a longer attention span. And I think that's why in my adult years, I can do a drawing that will take me 40 plus hours, no problem, because I don't mind sitting for that long and just having me in my drawing.
T. Gordon says, if you want a great book, read All the Light We Cannot See.
Wait, let me see the cover. I feel like I saw this at Barnes and Noble. Oh no, never mind.
Mm.
Never heard of this one.
I do like novels a lot too. It's like fiction or novels are my two things I enjoy the most of.
Wait, what defines a novel?
Kind of like something that it's rooted in reality, but it's a made up story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
Those are called novels? Really?
I technically think that'd be nonfiction, is what I'm describing. No, I always thought a novel was something that's like, yeah, hang on.
Google.
Because that Dear Edward book I read is a novel. It's considered a novel. So it's like,
I thought a novel is just
it's
a longer
rooted in
book.
reality, but it's a fictional story.
Hmm.
A fictitious prose narrative of book length, typically representing character and action with some degree of realism.
Okay. I guess I've never heard novel just used as like a way to describe genre.
Genre? Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like we missed a lot. I was talking way too much.
Yeah, you
I ramble.
You and your rambles. No, you're fine.
I guess in a way that's probably a good thing for a streamer though, because I wouldn't want to be watching a streamer that's dead silent a lot.
Let's do 5 minutes of you just drawing in a complete silence.
I think I could.
I mean, yeah, but
Sure, it wouldn't be too entertaining for the people that are watching with us right now.
Jen says Achilles was the greatest warrior of Greek legend. He had no weakness because his mother bathed him in a magical river, except the heel where she held him. His mother was a minor river sea goddess. She messed up.
I actually love the Greek mythology. I think over Norse or Egyptian, out of all the like, I don't even know what they would be called, like legendary folklore. What would that even be called? Mythology?
Mythology.
Mythology?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Greek is my favorite. I think the visuals are the closest representative, or represented, or no, they closely depict more like fantastical creatures like centaurs and Medusa, the Hydras, Cerberus. I think those lean more into fantasy, where like Nordic, or not Nordic, more like Viking stuff is more like, I guess, grittier, which is still cool. But I think for me, I liked the fantastical element of Greek.
Oh my god, that's right.
What?
The Avril Lavigne song for Aragon. Someone was like, "Don't watch Aragon. The only good thing is Avril Lavigne's Keep Holding On." I forgot about that. I do know that song.
Oh, Avril.
Felix says, it also baffles me that many actors and directors don't even read the book if you listen to them in interviews. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. It's kind of like taking off, you get the name, so you know a lot of people know of it, and then you can kind of just go with what you do.
If I was an actor, I feel like that wouldn't even be optional. I feel like that's a requirement.
To know your character. But I think what happens is they probably just get writers that obviously know it, so then they kind of just write up a script, but the directors have no...
Imagine if you found out Daniel Radcliffe didn't actually read any of the Harry Potters. Wouldn't that bother you?
Oh, yeah. Because I think that's how you get to understand the character. Plus, I think it's also helpful to know where your character's going as an actor. I don't know. There's like a lot of aspects to that.
That's terrible.
Because you want to see the character's growth, so you want to make sure you're portraying each step of their growth and stuff too.
Yeah, don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Today, Jen says you have orchestrated someone's villain story, and this is with your Pokemon cards. Ella says Tim was the villain all along. Felix finally coming clean after all these years. Any more horrible crimes you want to confess? Today we learned Tim was a psychopath master manipulator as a kid.
I can't even deny the fact that I think I was kind of an instigator as a kid. I wasn't I was a smaller kid. I was kind of shorter, and I was good at art. And at the time, I kind of knew something was different with me. I didn't know I was gay yet, but I knew something was different. But my friends all really liked me because I was funny. So I really shouldn't have been in the popular group. I really should not have been. But I think because I would draw them things and I could make them laugh, I just got like included with them. So that's why I don't think I was bullied either a lot growing up. My dad had this horrible fear that I was bullied, and it was really my brother that was bullied. He's 6 years older than I am, but Yeah, if anything, I was friends with the bullies, and I feel like sometimes I instigated things so that I would stay like within the group. So that would be my big confession.
Oh, Tim.
I know I'm a villain. I was Maleficent all along.
Oh, yeah, Felix says only the screenwriters do that, and then often they take this weird approach to take out anything they deem not marketable.
Yeah, that's
That's
terrible.
sad. I feel like if you're basing a movie off a book, you really should try to make it as to the original thing as possible. But
I mean, I'm not surprised to be honest, but still, I think it's terrible.
Jen says if you are in the mood for a bad time, watch Boku Ranu.
You see it?
Premise: a group of children are tasked with piloting a robot to defend their world from extinction.
Boku Ranu. We haven't seen that. I mean, the
Look at
more
cover.
recent kid centric anime that we saw was, oh my gosh, what was that
Promised
one?
Neverland?
Promised Neverland. The first season was pretty good. The second season we didn't really care for though. Oh, what was that other one though that Zach showed us? Oh, Made in Abyss.
Oh, that's right. That one was
Kind of
pretty
focused
good.
on kids, kind of. But that one I thought was pretty great. Very excited for season 2.
Jordan says it is sort of historical fiction. Oh, this is for the all the light we cannot see. Yeah, that one I'm putting. I actually can't even add it to my list right now because my phone's up there.
Oh yeah,
I have that list
Josh's
still.
phone's the one recording.
If you are in the mood, nope, got that. Elena says novel in English always confuses me because short story is called a novelli in Finnish, and novel is romani. Yeah, I don't know. I always assumed novels were. Oh yeah, make sure.
Okay, I do videos. Wait, hold on 1 second. So for those of you who don't know, you should be taking like short little videos of whatever you're creating for reels nowadays. It is literally the easiest way to get ahead on social media is video content, and I don't really alter my process too much. Besides, every now and then you'll see me like pull out my phone for a second and just record like a 5-second clip, and then I'll stitch it all together in the end. Yeah, never heard of Blue Period.
Yeah, so y'all should watch Blue Period. It's about high schoolers deciding they want to pursue art.
Oh,
Trying to keep a little like thing going right over here.
actually, maybe even if we could get this list saved on the stream follow along, that way I can check it later then too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have any suggestions that for sure you think we should check out, just let us know in the Discord channel, stream follow along. Because honestly, I'm kind of in a weird in between period where I'm not like super focused on any series, so I could definitely give some a try.
Lena says I am loving how this tail fin is turning out.
Yeah, I like kind of this like nuanced, like bumpy type of surface that is going with it. I'll probably do more of that off the stream, but I was like, I should really move on, or else the entire stream is going to be just this, and my hands covering up the mermaid or merman. So I'm going to move on. As you can see, I've started moving down here, and I'm kind of playing with that transition of like human-y looking torso into a more fishy aquatic tail. So let's see if I can do this.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
we actually
Felix
caught
says
up. Oh, no.
almost, yes. Michael Gambon. Oh, yeah, I miss Richard Harris. So Michael Gambon was the Dumbledore in movie 3. After Richard Harris passed away. Remember the Dumbledore in the first 2 movies?
I don't remember the second one that much.
Do you remember Dumbledore in the first Harry Potter movie?
My favorite Dumbledore.
Yeah. And then he was in the second one also.
Oh, he was in the second one.
But then the third one was the Michael Gambon.
No
who
offense to
was-
Michael Gambon, but
Yeah.
Yikes.
Right.
I
But
was
apparently
not a
he
fan.
Felix says he was vocal about not reading the books. So that would make sense then too why there were so many weird like things with him. Because he had such a aggressiveness a lot.
It could be the director's fault. Like, I don't want to blame the actor too much, but the the first actor, I felt like did a really good job of being stoic and kind of. He had a presence that was quiet but powerful, where then the new Dumbledore was just kind of like comic relief. And I was like, well, not really what I wanted from the head, minister of the school, but
Yeah, the Richard Harris gave me the vibes of like
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Well, and then what's the old wizard guy? Wizard Quest has his name on it too. What's the old? Oh my gosh, he had like a classic
Alice
wizard
or
feel. No, not. Who's the main room in Wizard
Delzar.
Quest? Delzar.
Yeah.
No, not Delzar.
Yeah.
Was he like an old classic wizard guy though? He just reminded me of old classic like when you think of wizards from even the 80s. I guess he had that pointy hat, long beard, and he was just very mild tempered.
Well, the way he talked,
powerful.
he had like a slower speech, so it came across very like mystical. Where then the new one talked a little faster, and he had these weird pitch variations where it did kind of make it seem like comic relief, and I'm like, I don't like this. But to each their own. Oh, look at these seahorse again.
Velfire says if you're looking for an amazing anime, look into Mushaku Tensei. It's very amazing.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
Hang on, copy pasting it. Oops, why did it open up in the window? Saved.
So I think I'm gonna go for this. I like this picture of the seahorse or this.
Ooh, wait, is that blue?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
But I like the ridging that's happening, and it's kind of like this spiny, borderline scary. But I like including those type of elements when I do any type of fantastical work. I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy just being pretty. I think having this more organic, nature-based reference is what I try to do. So even if I make him really pretty, like in the face, I might make his body look more menacing, and it's this complementing contrast. And that's kind of what I'm going to do with his tail fin here.
Oyasker says, how do you make your drawings? Oh my gosh, how do you make sure your drawings maintain the same values throughout all of them?
I try to work at a similar progression quality throughout. So before I started the stream, the whole drawing was done in 2H. And I kind of laid out where I want all the values. I've done tricks like this before where I know since I want his upper body to be lighter in value, I'm going to make the things that are behind him darker to contrast it. So this part of his tail here, I purposely knew was going to be darker. And then same with this arm over here, I needed the club to be dark as well. And as his tail's going around, it's hard to see because I'm only drawing half of him, but his tail winds this way. And then when it comes back around, it's going to be lighter under this body to give more of a contrast. And then as it goes up, it gets darker again, and that's where it pulls the contrast here. So I try to be particular with where I place my values, and then make sure that it reads well collectively. Because if I didn't have that, it might be hard for the viewer to look at it and understand what's going on or where things are being placed. And since I don't have the luxury of using color, I need to make sure that my values really read strong and it's easy to digest at first view. Because that's where I think graphite can look a little messy, is if it's very hard to distinguish what the artist was trying to separate in either form or subject matter. So yeah.
Sorry, I was looking up one of these. Okay. Ella says also if anyone has any fun movies or book recommendations, then feel free to post them in different channels we have in our Discord. Yes, definitely, because right now I just have
That's
like
true.
50, like a bunch of tabs open. So
Yeah.
if anything you're writing here too, feel free to throw it on Discord too. Because actually one of these stuck out to me.
Oh, really? Which one?
Light Lolliot says, I have a bunch of audiobook recs and probably some anime too. If you like fantasy, Mistborn or anything by Sanderson, basically. So I just looked at Mistborn. I'm like, maybe this one possibly. Because it's a fantasy.
Am I off the camera?
Are you off the camera? No.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Oh, you are.
I'll stay up
I think
here.
we can. I can always move it too on here.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Because I can just literally move it up and down.
So yeah, this could be fun.
I feel like you need a second monitor down here.
I mean, it probably would help. Yeah, this one looks really good though. I've just learned fantasy's the only genre I can read. Like you're good at reading.
Well, I did read. Well, I really like nonfiction. Like,
Yeah.
Not self-help, but like business practices.
I don't know how you can get through
Books that would be
those.
considered extremely boring. I'm kind of into. But I did read that collection of short stories. Oh, what was it called? Something with thorns. Oh my gosh. It was the best fantasy short story book I've ever read.
I'm trying to remember.
The Language of Thorns? I think that's it. The Language of Thorns. It's a fantasy compilation of a bunch of short stories, and every time you turn the page, the drawing that was on the previous page grows a little bit more on the outside edge of every short story. That's what drew me in initially when I bought it at the bookstore, because I thought it was a really clever, unique design. But then the stories were actually really well written. So my number one recommendation for like fantasy, especially for those who don't read, because these are maybe it will take you 20, 30 minutes for each short story. I thought they were really good. Some better than others, but definitely overall quality was above average.
I'm looking at this Sanderson guy's website too. Oh, so there's other series. Okay, this book might be one. Because as much as I'm like reading Lord of the Rings right now, I'm like I really don't want. It's a lot to commit to reading the whole book. So I'm like, maybe something else would be good for me.
Well, I think Lord of the Rings might also be like a comfort zone too, where you know it's safe because it'll be enjoyable. But I think it'll be good for you to like find a new one that is on that same level of it really grabbed me. Because you never read Game of Thrones, right? Or did you?
No.
Okay.
That's another one though, because I watched the show and I don't think I could read the book now. As much as I hate that.
Yeah,
I feel bad. I almost feel bad for the writers when that happens.
Trust me, he's making plenty of money.
Oh yeah, he's fine. Well, plus isn't he the one working on that game coming out too?
George R.R. Oh, maybe.
I thought he's the one
behind the Dark Soul one.
Oh my god, what's the name of that?
Wait, don't look it up. This is a good challenge of like, can we remember?
Elden Ring.
There it is.
I thought he was.
Just like an Elden Ring writer. He constructed the world.
He didn't write the story. Weird.
Interesting. I feel like that's kind of the hot take everyone has about George R.R. with Elden Ring, is that he wrote it.
So he kind of just did the world building, but not the actual.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was under the impression he wrote it as well.
Oh yeah, Elena, that's right. The Bear and the Nightingale. I actually have that on my list. I think I might have even bought the book. I just haven't started that one yet. That's the little thing with my Kindle is it goes in the library and sometimes I forget that it's just there then. That one actually looked really good.
Wait, say library again?
Library.
Okay.
What did I say?
Library?
That's what yeah, right?
Library?
What?
I finally found a word because everyone makes fun of me for not being able to say words right.
It's the quick way to say it.
Library.
Although, no, I think this one actually I have on the wait list with the library and it's been waitlisted still. So I learned with, this is my psychopathic thing I do, is with the library, because I have a Kindle, they have an app where you can check out books from your library digitally, but it still has hold. So like they only have 3 digital books you
I
can
remember this, yeah.
loan out. So once I get the book loaned from the library, I put my Kindle onto airplane mode and I can take as long as I want to read it. So I don't have to like recheck it in. I don't have to put it on hold again and wait for it to come. I literally just put my Kindle on airplane mode and they have no idea.
That's savage.
That's really, taking down our local libraries. You know what? Maybe that's the one I'll start first, and then I will try out the Sanderson book. Because I think that one's sometimes the front covers really speak to you, and that one spoke to me. Look how cozy this little front cover is. And it's, I believe, a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it does look like a very Josh book.
Yeah, it looks cozy. Yeah, I think it's a trilogy too. Fusion says, do you ever spray fixative between layers?
No. Actually, I've never even heard of that before. Wouldn't it... How would you be able to use the paper? Well, I don't know. Actually, I've never tried that. I mean, at first, hearing it, it doesn't sound practical, because then, like, what if you need to do a race, or... I don't know. Actually, I've never done it. No. I feel like I would want to give it a shot, but I'm also nervous because I'm one of those people who I let a drawing grow organically, and I'll make heavy changes throughout the entire process if necessary. Like if I wanted to erase his face and start a new one or part of the tail, I'll literally just take my eraser and just go at it and literally start from scratch. Kind of the other reason I like to work with 2H pencils first is you can lift pretty much the entire thing up. Or all the graphite that you put down, you can just lift it up.
I'm excited to see what you do with the hair.
Yeah, I think the hair... Wait, am I on camera? The hair, I'm going to try to do like this gradation down it, or as my friend Corinna would say, an ombre effect. Ombre. I think I wanted to keep it more kelpy, like grouped together. Actually, maybe if I turn it, yeah, we'll see.
Fusion says, I was just wondering because your art is always so clean with the fixative.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never tried it. I mean, if I would watch a tutorial on how to do it and like what the benefits of it would be, because maybe that would be something I would want to do. I've never even heard of that before.
Carlos says, I think fixative wouldn't let you add another layer. I mean, you probably could.
To be honest, I'm a pretty tactical artist. I feel like I'm pretty careful. Maybe if I was an artist that was a little more messy, maybe that would be more useful. I don't know. Like I said, I've never even heard of that before.
Getting so many book recommendations though.
So that's cute.
It's like reading's this weird thing that when I'm doing it, I love just reading. It's just the zone you get into, you enter that world. I think for me, it's just been hard to find something lately that I really can get into.
I wanted to show what you got for me yesterday that came in.
Oh yeah. Wait, hang on one sec.
Oh.
Ella recommends Bear and the Nightingale. So maybe that is one, because that's been on my list. I was thinking... Oh yeah, Scar says, I was thinking form piece to piece as well, like so that one character drawing doesn't look super pale and another overall dark.
Wait, what?
Oh, so, sorry. It was in reference to the question, how do you make sure your drawings maintain the same value? And then I was thinking from piece to piece as well. Like, so that one character drawing doesn't look super pale and another overall dark. With the value.
Oh, this is Oscar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never tried it before, but in terms of like dark and light for even the characters, I know what I'm trying to do for this card deck specifically is if the pip itself is black, so the spades and the clubs, I want their tail to start really dark, and then as you work up the body, it ends up really light or pale. And then the opposite will be true for the red card. So the heart and the diamond, I'll have a very light tail, and then their skin tone will be very dark. So I don't know if this answers your question, but like, how does? Oh, I know what you're trying to ask. I try to make most of my characters have this negative space in their skin tone, and you can interpret it as like dark, pale, medium skin. Doesn't really matter to me, but I try to have like very little, almost minimal elements of them shaded, and in doing so, I think all my characters then look similar. Or they have that similar shading reference, so I don't have to worry too much about how closely related they look, or making sure like the values are similar, because since I shade the same way on every single one, I just know that they will be. But really quick, I wanted to show, I forgot we have some things to show off today. So Josh got me this figure for Christmas, and it finally came in, and some of you may recognize her, but this is, actually, can I zoom out? Yes.
Yeah.
So this is Terra from Final Fantasy VI.
We can always use the camera facing us too if you want to show off.
Yeah, it's too small though.
Well, we can do that. Maybe.
Nah, still too small.
Oh, it is really tiny there.
But I love her. I love her little pointed boots. Here, pull it back down.
All right.
And I love when, with characters, they have these superposable limbs. And with the play arts figures that Final Fantasy does, they make it so that you can like super mod even like the cape or even her hair if you want her like flying for whatever reason, or you can have it pointed down. They're just very well articulated, very gorgeous. Every element is like well thought out. And the character specifically, this one has inspired me so much in the work that I do. Terra is one of those who I've never actually played her game. I've never played Final Fantasy VI. But her outfit design from Amano, I think, is perfect for like a fantasy character. You have these sleeves that cut off mid bicep, very waist heavy elements, which I definitely take when I do my own characters. So all my swordplay characters, you'll notice, are very hip heavy. They have a lot of hip accessories. And then these boots, I think, are like fantasy quintessential, pointed heels with like a silk pattern tight over or under them. I just love it. So I'm so glad Josh got me this, because I think this character has inspired me so much over the years. I really should have a direct representation, inspiring reference to have. And now I'll have her at my table. And then the other things, I feel like this almost becomes a book review section. So instead of showing all 7 books that I just got, I'll do one a week.
That's
because I got a lot.
You got a lot. They're also good too.
So this one, some of you might know the artist. I guess I can zoom back in a little bit here. So I know them as Nanako and or Nanako, and they do this very like clean line fantasy with fun coloring. And I haven't been able to find their book or like anything specifically from them. It's like a collection of work ever. And my friend sent me a link to the bookstore. So that, thank you, Sang, referencing Sang Glam Art on Instagram. And this bookstore, it's a Japanese one. They had so many books from artists that I absolutely love, and I haven't been able to find like collections of their stuff before. So I felt like I hit the jackpot, and I ordered 7 of them for myself for Christmas. And they all came in yesterday, and it was like a dream. So let me show you. Are these the ones that really got me? Yeah, so like love the detailing. I love it almost has this tarot element to it where every piece that's added feels like this larger than life story depicted in a single scene. And it has that very much like this is an element that represents something more than like this, more than just a dagger. You can interpret it as you will. But there were a lot of these in the back that I've never even seen before. Like I'm pretty sure this is Little Red Riding Hood. Get that glare out of the way.
Oscar says I can smell what the book smells like just by looking at it.
Oh,
I love
so
that new
good.
book smell.
And I think this is the Nutcracker on this side. So the back of the book, I've never even seen these illustrations. This is obviously Alice in Wonderland. And where was the other one that I really liked? Oh yeah, Cinderella. They use color really well, and I love how they do all the little details throughout and the staging of each scene. I just think it's really smart. I'm pretty sure this is Beauty and the Beast. I love this one. And then look at this Sleeping Beauty one. I think this is great. Oh, look at that.
Mm.
Oh wait, did I pass the...
Oh my god.
Yeah, look at this. These like firework harpy fairies.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of that movie, the one you're talking about.
Oh, Children of the Sea.
Children of the Sea, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just absolutely gorgeous. So if any of you want to order this for yourself, I'll put a link once the stream ends. I'll go upstairs and I'll share it with you guys. But this is definitely an artist that I've been following for years. I love their style. Oh yeah, I love this one too. They're just really good, right? Actually, Josh, hold on. She did this big storyline with Heaven and Hell, and it's like these two characters that fall in love with each other, and they're like polar opposites.
Oh.
But she drew like this chibi version of the devil, like going to school with a bunch of these angels. I thought it was really cute. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there's him as like a wee babe. I know it's kind of hard to see. But I just love them. I love their work, and I highly recommend. So this is called Wonderland, and it's very difficult to find. Maybe it was just difficult for me. Who knows? But I'll link a link to it because I had to order through Etsy because the store listed them through Etsy, which is kind of weird.
Oh.
But yes. So yeah, we'll continue on our book reviews next week.
One book a week.
One book a week.
What is the name of the artist again?
Nana, so Nanaco, Nanako.
Nanaco.
And then if you go to Instagram.com really quick,
All right.
I believe their name is more than just Nanako. But try Nanako. Ooh. Yikes. We have to type in Nanako art. Actually, we might be able to post it right now. Hold on. Yes, that's it. 846. So if you could share that link. And then honestly, if you could just go to Etsy after and then type Nanako Wonderland, I think you'll be able to find it.
Go to Etsy and search Nautical Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is that where you ordered all the books from?
Yep.
But they're not on Nautical, right?
Nope. No, but they'll probably have the listing for just this book. Scroll down. You type in Nautical art. There it is.
Is it this account?
Yep, Chill and Sarah.
Okay. This is the shop that Tim used.
And then put a link just for the book. And what's tough with these type of books is usually they're wrapped and they only give a sample of like 4 or 5 pages in the books. So actually 2 of the books that I got, I wouldn't say were worth it, but the other 5 definitely were. And this is the first that I just showed is definitely one I would recommend.
I'm not going to flood YouTube chat with these anymore, but I linked everything on Discord. In stream, follow along.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so that intrigues you. Go check it out. Because I'm definitely a lover of other artists. I feel like I'm one of the few that like really try to scope out and find the hidden treasures and gems from other artists around the world for like a library collection. I'm very proud of the book collection I have. I know, John.
Yeah.
but I try to be very picky. Like I'm very selective with the books that I have, and then over the years I've just amassed this collection of books that I do think all of them are at least 8 out of 10 in terms of quality.
You have so many. Well, you organize your books really well too.
Thank you.
Like you keep them organized by categories and names.
Maybe one day we'll do a video recording of I can just go through my. I don't even know how to do that. Like go through my books, but do it quickly.
That could be a longer one. I feel like that would be kind of a relaxing video, honestly.
Well, maybe it would be nice if I did pull out every single one, give like no more than a 20-second explanation, and then move on to the next, and just make it like a 2-hour video. And then literally link all the books in the description, and that way people can then see and possibly get any of the ones that they would want. It would take a little work, but we could even hire someone to help with that.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got it. All right, everyone sent really good book recommendations too.
Well, thank you
Do
guys.
we check it's saved, right? In case there's something I miss.
I would just write it down just in case.
Get them, okay. Because Ella recommended like a shorter one, which is
Oh, I do like
nice
short
too.
fantasy books.
Sometimes I always take on longer, daunting ones. Alright, there we go. I got the one you recommended, Ella, The Folk of the Air. Arcane Ascension is one Felix recommended. Sorry, just doing a bunch of copy pasting at the moment. There's gonna be something out there for me. Felix, same for me other than Miss Peregrine's book. I want a large detailed world like Harry Potter, but it's difficult to find something that I really feel like sinking my teeth into. Most longer fantasy just feels like it's meandering a bit, or doesn't have a super interesting setting, or the setting is underutilized within the story. Yeah, I think that's why even I love reading Lord of the Rings, just because you feel outside of the movies, because I read before the movies, you just felt immersed in the world, because the world felt real and big, and I think it's when you have the fantasy world too, it's good to utilize the whole world, where sometimes things can stay so stagnant for so long. And I think Lord of the Rings too, it felt almost like a video game reading, because you felt like you're unlocking new areas, because you spend so much time in one area that when they move to the next area, you feel like you're moving further into this world. You're seeing new things with the characters. Because even the Lord of the Rings, these hobbits have never seen anything outside of their shire.
Oh.
So in the book,
that
you
makes
feel like
sense.
you're seeing all these new things with them, which I felt immersed in. I mean, in a way, you think about that same with Harry Potter. You're following Harry, who's never seen this world or had any part of it. So everything to you then feels new along with Harry.
It's a really smart trope, because that's how Final Fantasy X did too. Titus is thrown into a world where he doesn't know anything that's happening.
Yeah, so then you kind of almost connect with that character of like, oh my god, I'm seeing all these new
Mhm.
things right now.
It's very effective.
Yeah. Only 2 left of the book. Good luck, everyone.
You really like Nanako's work.
Only 2 left, and 2 people have it in their carts.
You know what was nice? When I worked at CG Cookie, I did like book reviews, and it got to the point where I would have publishers send me free books to review then.
Oh.
So I feel like if I got back into doing book reviews again, we could get back on that, like, well, if you send it to me, I'll review it for you.
Oh my gosh, that'd be kind of nice.
Just because I feel like I do, that's
You buy so many books.
one of the few things I actually collect. It's just books and I guess right now figures. Those are the only 2 things. Well, I guess tarot cards, but I'm telling you, there's not a lot of great ones out there. I might just not be searching as hard as I should be for tarot decks, but man, there's a lot of them that I don't know if I'm just too picky or peculiar with what tarot cards I would want, but I really don't want like cats dressed as mermaids tarot deck. Like that's just not something I would want or desire.
Oh gosh.
No. So I feel like we just went to a witch store on Sunday, or like a crystal magic store, and they had this giant shelf of just tarot cards. And I was like, well, I'll be sure to find at least one. And I didn't. I literally looked at every single one. And they were just, a lot of them were just very silly, just very. It felt like each card took maybe an hour or two to make. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I get that art is a struggle, and I don't want to be super critical of, other artists, but I would want a deck for myself where I felt like the artist was really pouring themselves into the work. And I think that's why I'm trying so hard with mine. And I want to be one of those examples that they are. Hopefully I will be. Uh, because I think there just needs to be more tarot decks out there that take it a little more seriously. Or the worst, and no offense if anyone does this in the chat, are when people just superimpose photos into the tarot cards, and then like it's clearly they took a picture of someone sitting in a JPEG of a throne that they got from another site. Oh well, thank
A
you.
New Beginning. Thank you so
A New
much.
Beginning. And those kind of cards, I'm always like cringing internally because I'm like, oh, these are just not my style at all, or my taste at all.
Rueden says a person I know got some tarot cards that looked really nice. Yeah, if you can find
Could
a
you
deck
link
you
me?
like.
I would definitely share the ones that I think I have 11, and all of those I think are pretty great. But those are the only 11 I've really been able to find on my own.
I've been watching His Dark Materials. I read the book, and I got so bad with the first book, but I really liked it. It is a series that really holds up today.
Isn't that the Amazon Prime series?
Yeah, it's based off the book though. I heard the book's really good. I don't know much about the series.
Well, what's the one everyone's been talking? Oh, Wheel of Time, right? Is that what it's called? The Wheel of something?
Yeah, Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. I'm surprised you haven't started watching that.
I think that's based off the book though too.
It is based off a
Yeah.
book. People like apparently love the book.
See, I never read the book for that one.
And it even has my Gone Girl, what's her name? Rosamund Pike.
Oh my god, that's right.
Love Rosamund? Rosamund? I don't know how to say her name.
Her?
Yes. I think she should have won for Gone Girl. I thought her depiction of Amy was 10 out of 10.
Oh my god, she's the one that was in the I Care a Lot. Yeah.
Which,
That was okay.
kind of the same type of character, but I don't think it was done as well as Gone Girl. I think Gone Girl was like a perfect villain depiction that I really enjoy. Because going back to the everyone now knows I'm a villain.
You?
Yes. Remember my Pokemon card
Oh
instance?
yeah. You are Rosamund Pike.
It would be an honor. Oh, yeah, Astrid.
Astrid. Speaking of disasters, though, Miss licking her fur. I think I have to start giving Astrid baths. Her fur, I think, in winter specifically, gets really dry. That she scratches it to the point of like the fur coming off, and it causes it to bleed.
Yeah.
So then I have to put a little soft. I have a little soft cone now for her instead of the hard plastic ones, because the plastic cone she would just shut down with. So I have a little soft cone I'll put on her once in a while. But right now she has a spot that I think I have to put the cone on because it was doing okay yesterday, and then somehow overnight she must have cut it open again. But I was reading online I probably should start giving her baths, and that kind of scares me to give.
I'm sure she'll love it.
But yeah, I have a friend that does it too, and it's just finding moisturizing, like a shampoo and conditioner to put on her fur. It's because that'll help her skin stay a little bit, probably less itchy.
So Astrid doesn't really like being touched at all. So the idea of her taking a bath is kind of funny.
Imagine her She's gonna be so shadow wet. I'm gonna snuggle her in a towel for a while until she dries, though.
She's gonna be so upset at you.
Actually, if anything, I can wrap her in a towel and get a heated blanket afterwards, and I'll just snuggle her for a bit until she dries up.
To minimize the trauma.
Yeah. Astrid, you're gonna have to get a bath soon. I almost could try it soon.
That is something I think I'm gonna let you do.
I don't know, like, because she has a spot, I'm guessing it probably wouldn't be good to even
Like,
wash now.
yeah.
I don't know.
There we go.
Elena says, I've never looked seriously at tarot cards before following you making them, but I too have seen some that are not for me at all. But I've heard that they need to speak to you, so definitely some won't.
I would say most don't.
To you.
To
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be someone out there that loves seeing cats dressed as mermaids and then depicted in tarot.
It's a very niche market, but
Who knows? Maybe it's like one of the biggest markets, but I'm the ignorant one that's like, who would buy this? And then it's like the
like the
best-selling tarot
bestseller.
card. You never know. People have weird interests out there.
Oscar says, do you know how the tarot cards came about?
You know what's funny is at that witch store I was talking about earlier, I bought one of the books that talks about the art specifically in each of the cards. That'll be the book review, I guess, next week. Or not even review because I haven't read it. But
Yeah.
it looked really cheap and like unappealing by the cover. But I read the initial, or I read the card that I was working on, and then I read the intro part, and it was actually pretty great. I was like, well, don't judge a book by its cover. But part of the intro talked about how I always have to like lead into the stories of like the context. In the beginning, it talked about how the origins of tarot are still relatively unknown. From the way that this book talked about it, apparently it came about in Italy in like the 1400s. They're not sure exactly who started it, but it's not Rider Waite. I think a lot of people think the main deck was like the original deck, but apparently it's not. And they're still like piecing together where it came from. And then there's rumors that it started either before or after the playing card deck. I believe it came after the playing cards, but like I said, I don't know enough information besides that. And unless if you know more that I'm not even aware of, I would love to hear it.
Ella says a Timidic tarot card deck with cat mermaids. I would definitely buy it.
You never say never, I guess. Justin Bieber, right?
I mean, imagine an Astrid on a tarot card. She's just staring at us again.
What would Astrid's card be? The Tower?
Damn. She's not a disaster. No, Astrid would be...
Well, she's a worrier. And she's like... Oh, she could be possibly the Hermit.
Yeah. Because she's very independent. She likes to be home. Astrid, hi.
And then Casper would probably admit it. I mean, he's still a baby, but he'd be the fool. He definitely
He'd be a
jumps
fool
before
or
he
a
loves.
page of... Probably one of the pages, at least. Because he's kind of a baby.
You know what, though? He's smarter than I initially gave him credit for, because every morning... It's so weird. I've never owned a pet like this, ever. Where every morning I'll get up and I'll go to the bathroom. Literally, as soon as I open the door, he'll be sitting there. Like, just ready to be fed. So then he'll lead me downstairs, and then I'll feed him. And then he'll like be up for like a half hour, and then he'll go to bed, and then he sleeps during the day. He's very nocturnal. Like, he does that every single morning without fail. And I'm like, I don't know if this is like a schedule routine thing, but I've never seen cats do this, because Astrid's definitely not like that.
No, Astrid and I just nod at each other in the morning eventually.
Astrid does what she wants when she wants.
Yeah. Jen says, make sure to clip her nails before you try any of that, Josh. Actually, probably a good reminder. I should probably clip her nails today, too.
Could you do Casper's so that this doesn't keep happening?
Probably. Yeah, I'll do Astrid's today, and then if that goes well, we'll do Casper's.
Actually, I haven't even told you this,
you have
but
to hold her down when I do it.
Casper, I was holding him, and then someone opened the front door. It must have been Dee. She opened the front door. There is a gash in my leg that he broke through whatever pajamas I was wearing, and it like tore in my skin and then pulled it back. And I'm still living with that
Casper.
right now. I'm like, Casper, this isn't your fault. But he gets really freaked out when the door opens upstairs and he'll like bolt. So if you're holding him, well, you're going to get some damage.
Sketchbook says, okay, sea guardian hunk half elf, cool. My theory. Welcome.
Welcome! That's exactly what I was going for, actually.
Like Wally, it says, I've read the Raven Cycle books and they have a bunch of stuff about tarot that I don't much understand.
Well, the thing is, like,
Cycle
tarot,
books.
it always intrigued me a little bit, but I never got into it until about a year ago. Um, I think it dives into a lot of spirituality that I think a lot of millennials and Gen Zs have been kind of losing over the years. And I think they're still yearning for something to kind of fill that spot. And I know for me specifically, like I said earlier, tarot I don't necessarily believe in, but I've had some really weird readings that have been oddly accurate. And then even yesterday, I had my tarot read for the first time in like what 7 8 months, and the card that was my near future card was the Eight of Wands, which literally is the next card I've been working on. So the fact that my near future card was the card that I'm working on next, kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy.
And I created this new schedule where I have 3 projects that I'm focusing on. This one, the tarot deck, and then the giant 5-foot Aquatica Nautica. And my card that was more of like the this is your future, but it's malleable, was the Four of Cups, or yeah, Four of Cups, where you have the 3 cups upright, and then there's a hand with another cup reaching from the clouds. And there's a lot of interpretations for this one, but the way that I saw it is I have these 3 cups that I feel pretty satisfied with only working on these 3. But then here comes another new shiny project from the heavens, and to not get like distracted by it and not just see something new and pretty and then abandon the cups that you have upright in front of you. So that was pretty freaky.
Your
But
reading was very eerily on point.
I think though tarot creates a conversation between you and the, what do they call them, the querent? It's like Querant or whatever, and it's a conversation that probably you wouldn't have outside of tarot. It kind of cuts the small talk or cuts past it, and then you get to have real conversations, and that's how we got to know Olivia, the Queen of Cups reference, so much better. And I feel like even within us, we've gotten to know each other on a deeper level that had questions that I don't know how they would have came up in normal conversation, because every card's relatable and everyone can relate it to their life in some way. So I think that's why I love tarot so much, is because I'm not a big small talk fan, and I love getting to like deep real talk, and I feel like tarot is just one of those avenues to do that. So yeah.
Well, and it gives you motivation to do things about those things too. So it's not just talking about your problems. Tarot is going to also give you at least somewhat of the keys to like work through it and come out of it too.
I think, yeah, by even just talking things out loud, sometimes you come to realizations that you've been thinking that maybe you haven't fully understood. And by talking out loud with another person, you'd be like, wait, is that really how I feel about myself? Or is like that really the situation going on right now? And sometimes I think it's like, it's a very strange form of therapy without it being like an official therapy session.
Uh, Josh Andrew says, "Do all your pieces have a storyline in your head?"
You know what? I talked about this a little bit on the last stream, but essentially, I need everything I create again to have storytelling elements and relationship within it. So even with this elfy, what was the description? Elf,
Oh, the elf.
the pretty
We're
mermaid
reading
elf
it's right here.
man.
Sea guardian hunk half elf.
uh, he is part of the 4 families that I'm creating. So a family for each card pip. This is the club suit, and him and his brother lost their father, and they're both kind of stepping up from basically being princes that didn't really have to do anything into fulfilling these roles of a lot of responsibility. So he's the younger brother, he's the more carefree one, but he's stepping up more as like a social I don't know the exact position I want to give him, but like the person that basically, see, I don't even know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're not doing kings, but you're doing
It's
like
very much like a social responsibility. He's in charge of the commonwealth of the people. I feel like there's a no. There's definitely a title for it. I can't think of it though. But the contrast to him, his brother, the slightly older one, who is still kind of carefree but takes things a little more serious, he then gets put in charge of like the warring faction, and if they were in like a crisis mode, he would be in charge of it. And I think you see both of these brothers. I want both of them to be kind of depicted as a little loose and flowy because they're not like as structured or strong. Oh, we can hear Casper in the ceiling. So he's the younger brother, and I'm gonna create. Oh, so he's gonna be the jack of clubs, and then the queen, their mom, I'm gonna make super regal, and then she's gonna be the one that's very positioned, poised, and strong looking. And that's why I want these two to have a slight awkwardness to him. So even this wreath that he's holding, I kind of want it to be like this peace wreath, but instead of like holding it in a very elegant, regal way, he's kind of just like carrying it like you would like a bag. And I kind of like the idea that he's not really exactly sure how to fulfill this position yet, but he has like a positive outlook, and that's why I'm giving him kind of a smile. And he's a pretty boy, but I like that story for the club suit. So yeah.
Well, then I know you had your little sheet, and probably when you start in the next card too, we can go over that sheet again you made with all your little story pointers for each one.
I'll probably do his brother next. You know, I always try to have these set guidelines of, okay, this one's next, but I'm also very okay with being malleable in the sense that if I'm feeling the Queen of Hearts next, well, we're going to then jump to that one because I was told when I was working at CG Cookie is when you're most excited about a character, a project, a drawing, whatever it is, you should work on it right then in that moment because you'll never be as excited about it than you are in that moment. And I was gonna start with the heart suit, but I really liked the positioning I had for the clubs. I thought he would be an easy first one to kind of get me back in the mode of creating a card deck. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna go with the clubs, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it either.
A lord or a baron? Do any of those speak to you?
Ooh, yeah, I kind of like a lord, or actually both baron. Yeah, I guess I'll do like a full Google on the meanings of both words after.
Because when you do they don't call them pips, or just the pip cards, right?
These are pips. So like the actual symbol.
When you do the like just 1 through 10.
Oh, the normal cards.
Are those pretty quick for you to get through then?
So I decided.
I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember how long it took you to get through those last time.
I was pretty simple or simplistic with my first deck, actually. So with this deck, the pip that I drew was like very standard. But for the new one, I'm going to make them a little more aquatic focus. Kind of think like Bioshock logo, the Bioshock 2, where it's like slightly decrepit looking. And then when I do the like 10 of clubs, I'm going to draw literally all 10 of them. Where before I just kind of copy and pasted 10 times. Because this card deck I had a way bigger time constraint than I do with this one. And I'm going to do it that way. So that'll definitely be a stream as well. Because I can knock those out so quickly. I might even give you like a counter because
oh god,
I'll probably be moving.
We know how
quick.
counters go for me.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen the 400k giveaway stream, I made Josh count every time I drew a star, and we had to draw 400 of them. That was pretty good.
I feel like there's either a little lower or more than 400 on that drawing, though.
What?
Honestly.
No, I thought it was pretty accurate.
Did we do a double count?
Because I'm pretty sure Fem actually counted every single one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was nervous about that one. Casper's in the ceiling. I don't know where he's going though.
He's just sleeping.
No, he was moving. He went over that way.
You could hear us.
Wonder
He's
what
like,
he
you guys
does.
are waking me up.
Right. Like, what does he do?
What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's already 2? Okay. Well, we'll probably go for like another 15 minutes. So if you guys have any last minute questions or something that you're dying to hear before we head out for the day, I would ask it now. And then we will do our best to answer it. Because I assume you're caught up, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm just really happy about these book recommendations. I almost think the I think Bear and the Nightingale is the one I'm settling on. But this one that Ella recommended to the Folk of the Air series looks really good. I should see if it's on my library app too. The library app's really nice because you can just check out books for free and read them and then.
So to kind of create these ridges like the seahorse, I'm trying not to be too line art heavy. I'm trying to imply a lot of it with the shading here. So it kind of creates these squares without it being like a direct drawing of a square. Am I off the screen? Yeah.
Up there, yeah. Felix says, why do I feel like some of the fins look like melted cheese? Maybe I'm hungry.
Oh, gross. This would be the stringiest melted cheese.
Ew. Jen says, any sea creatures you would love to do but haven't?
Oh, for sure. On my big Aquatica Nautica piece upstairs, my favorite animal when I was in grade school was, the scientific term is Architeuthis ducks, and it's a giant squid. So I would love to draw a giant squid. I watched this movie called The Beast, and it featured a giant squid, and it's kind of a horror movie. I'm sure watching it nowadays it'd be embarrassing, but I remember at the time I thought it was like the coolest creature. And then I Googled it after I watched the movie, and I found out they were real. So yeah, I would love to draw a giant squid.
Josh Andrew says, fairies versus mermaids, who do you like better?
Ooh.
I'm choosing fairies for sure, though. I like fairies. This one's tough for you, though, Tim.
Well, when I think of fairies, I think of the very dark, mischievous fairies. I don't think Tinkerbell. I mean, she was a little mischievous, but
Unpopular opinion, but I actually kind of like those Tinkerbell movies they came out with.
oh,
You ever
hear
see those?
the Wilder or whatever that beast one was actually pretty good. But
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
love the little.
You know what? I'm gonna say mermaids. I think they could have such a cooler. Well, oh my god, I don't want to say that though. Maybe right now where I'm at in my life, since I'm constantly drawing like aquatic things, I'm more focused on mer people. But for now, I'm gonna say mermaids.
Mermaids. I'm loving these last minute questions. When your opinion on your opinion on pigeons? Some people regard them as sky rats.
I like pigeons. Actually, aren't pigeons the ones that have the like scarlet eye?
Yes. Well, and then they're also mourning doves. I think that's the name for them too. They make that really cute little like cooing
Yeah.
sound too. Yeah.
I like pigeons. I'm sure if I lived in the city, I'd have a different opinion because they might be more annoying. But when I visit cities and I see them, they're usually minding their own business, and they're usually like picking food off the ground.
We get like a couple in the backyard too. They're not too many. They're just really cute.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say I like them. I don't see them as sky rats.
It wasn't pigeons in that front bush we used to have, right? I can't
No.
remember what those were. They were just chickadees or something. We get a lot of chickadees in the area.
We do get a lot of chickadees.
So chickadee. Oh, Casper came down.
Casper.
Casper, you want to come say hi to everybody? Up here he comes.
Oh, hi.
Oh, good morning, Casper.
Good morning,
You should
friends.
come on the stream, Casper.
Grab him.
Astrid got her moment last week. You get your moment this week.
Hi, baby. Come here.
Oh, Casper. He's really cute when he comes down from the ceiling because he always looks sleepy still.
Oh.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, he's just
Casper. Oh, you get to. Oh, he has the dust from the ceiling on him. You're all messy, Casper. I have to clean you up.
Oh. Hey, baby. So yeah, this is Casper.
Oh.
Wait, can you make our faces big really quick?
Yeah, just get that.
Hey. Do you want to say hi to the camera really quick? Oh.
There we go. Oh.
He's like, these bright lights, what are you doing to me? I just woke up.
Yeah, he just
Hey,
woke
baby.
up. Yeah, good morning, Casper.
Hey. He definitely loves getting pet. He's kind of the opposite of Nastra in that way.
Goodbye, Casper.
What? You go on your way. He's like, I just woke up, now I'm blinded. Okay. I'm trying to think of what... Yeah, so I actually like the seahorse ridging that I'm doing down the center. Wait, make our heads smaller.
Oh. Goodbye, heads.
Bye, heads. Ooh! It's like taking the Alice in Wonderland potion. But I think I'm going to try to bring it through the rest of the tail, but do it very subtly. Where I think even this is a little strong. I kind of like when details like that are like implied, but not super like hard shaped edging everywhere. So we'll see. What's funny is originally I was going to make the scales of each of the mermaids fit the pip that they represent. So I was going to have kind of a triple scale for each of this for his tail, but I did it yesterday. I did like a quick draft of what it would look like, and it just looked like puzzle pieces, and it looked really weird. So I'm like, even though that was my original idea and I thought it tied in the pip really well, if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. And I feel like this does have a better feel overall because it's based very loosely on that seahorse. I forgot the official name. The kelp. Oh gosh, I was just looking at this.
For that one?
Mm-hmm. What are you called? The leafy sea dragon. That's it. So I think for each of the suits, I'm gonna try to have an animal in mind that I'm really trying to base a lot of the features on. So I think for the club family, I think I'm gonna go for like a leafy sea dragon.
That's a living creature.
Things in the ocean are crazy. I'm telling you.
EJ says, do you use traditional tarot symbolism in your cards, or some of it, or do you make your own?
Oh, I follow the original symbolism very, very closely. Like even with the Queen of Cups, I probably wouldn't originally do the mer people or the mer babies in the actual throne that she's sitting on, but there were a lot of elements that I included that I originally probably wouldn't. And even with like her cup with the two angels on either side, and the fact that it's a closed chalice, it's the only cup out of all the cups that actually is covered. Whenever I look at each card, I try to figure out what the meaning behind a lot of things are. And even with like her dress in the original card, it looks like it's flowing into the water seamlessly. So then when I created my card interpretation, I tried to give that same look where you can't really tell where the dress begins and where it ends. And she's supposed to be like water on water. Each of the queens, or each of the cups represent water, and each of the queens represent water. So when you do a water on water, she's supposed to be like the most powerful of the cups underneath the high priestess, who apparently all source of water comes from the high priestess. But the Queen of Cups is very much intuitive and in line and like interwoven within thinking of emotions. And that's why her chalice is closed, and that's why she's so fixated on it, is because a lot of the interpretation of this one, if I read it correctly, was that it's more internal. So her way of processing emotions isn't like an outwardly thing. It's very internalized, and she's very like focused on it. So any tarot card that I do, every element that was in the original and every meaning, I try to have it included, even if it gets a slight upgrade in terms of like visual aesthetics. Like her dress isn't this ornate looking, but there wasn't a lot that spoke specifically about the robe that she was wearing having a lot of meaning besides all queens kind of wearing a very similar robe. So I made it a little bit of my own, but for the most part, I'm following it pretty closely. Oh, and apparently the stones, she's supposed to be sitting on this throne, and her feet aren't touching the water, but they're touching these brightly colored stones that are sitting on the beach. So I try to include those elements. So she's barefoot, and her foot isn't touching the water, it's slightly resting on these stones. And for those of you who get really into tarot, you'll probably see that the cards that I am creating are very much symbolic of the original Rider Waite deck. And I'm not, even though I'm making it my own, it's very much true to the original meanings. And I personally like when tarot card decks uh, stay pretty close to the origin. Like even with the death card, I think a lot of people think of like the Grim Reaper with a scythe, but if you really, I mean, we had it in the reading. If you really look at the death card, it's like a skeleton wearing a full suit of armor, riding a horse, holding a flag of a white rose,
A
and then
priest like warmly welcoming
a
him.
priest
Yeah.
welcoming it, two children like greeting death, and then in the background it's a sun uh, over I think two mountainsides. I think it's a sun coming up in between it, and it's supposed to represent like the death of something, so that another opportunity or the next chapter can begin. So it's actually a very welcoming card. But I think a lot of people will just be like, "Oh, death, skulls," and like whenever I see a tarot card with it's a skull on fire, I'm like, well, yes, I guess you could interpret it in the way it was meant, but uh, I think a lot of people make it interpretable based on like pop culture, like modern culture. And I think when we hear death, I think immediately the references we get are very like scary and like dark and but that's really not the original interpretation. So I know for myself, I'm going to keep it very true to the originals. And if I do interpret things a little differently, like even with High Priestess, I'm still going to make it fit what it was originally meant to represent.
Oscar says, oh, this one's hard to do quickly, but quick description of how tarot cards are used.
Ooh, okay.
We can just do the rundown of like each spot really quick. Or I don't know.
Well, I think they're saying like, why would anyone use them? I think my quick answer to this would be, I think some people like the idea of having some kind of a guided narrative to help them in their life. And I know, like I said, I like it more for the conversation that can arise from it. But I think some people, they like having a set foundation to work from. And it kind of goes back to school too. Either you were someone that liked to do your work on your own, or you need a teacher to tell you, okay, this is what you do next to level up your skills. And even like for drawing, I did a lot of things outside of classwork because I was very much into finding my own path. But then there were other kids that like only wanted to do what the teacher would tell them step by step on how to get better. And I think sometimes those people would like the idea of tarot because then it gives them a set structure to then follow and lead on. I try to tell people not to lean too heavily on these type of things though either. I think it can be damaging on some level if you rely 100% faith in other things to basically guide you. I think tarot is this beautiful marriage between self-reflection and then these cards forcing interjection, and that's why I really like tarot. But why would you personally do it? It differs. So
I think
hopefully that
getting
answered
it
it.
I think getting it done with a friend or someone you know is going to be different too than going to someone random.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think they might sometimes force something out of you that isn't true. So I think having someone you can have an honest conversation with, and sometimes some cards, even for us, we're sometimes like, I need a second to figure out how this could even apply to me right now. And usually through conversation, you can find some way it can apply without feeling like you're forcing something to even also. So a lot of it is just discussing things and talking. That's why it's almost like a form of therapy, for me at
Well,
least, because it's a way to talk about things.
Well, I know too, you also have to be honest when you do tarot reading because we've definitely had readings where we kind of knew what the card was supposed to mean for a person, but they forced it to mean something else because they weren't comfortable talking about it. So I think if you're doing a tarot reading, you have to be open to the idea that you have to be 100% honest with your answers. So if you do tarot, I'm telling you right now, just be 100% honest. You'll get more out of it. You get what you put in.
Back to birds. Jen says pigeons are more like wild dogs because they were bred by humans and then abandoned.
What? I didn't know that. No.
Oh, interesting. I need to know the history of pigeons.
Yeah,
Where they come from. The origins.
We learn so much on these streams.
Right? Felix says, I feel like I'm back home when I hear seagulls, but they become annoying after a while too. I love the sound of seagulls, but I could see if they could become annoying. Thankfully, I've never lived next to water. Like, I've never lived next to a big body of water to really deal with pigeons. Or, seagulls.
I mean, to be honest, I'm sure I would love living next to the ocean, but I can't abandon Wisconsin.
One says, I personally like pigeons and doves. I think they are really cute. I totally agree. They have, I don't know, just their little, the sounds they make, I think, are just cute. And their little faces. I mean, pigeons have kind of creepy, because their eyes are a little scary looking.
I think if you look up close at a pigeon, they're kind of scary looking, but I love that about them.
I just like their little walk. Actually, just in general, how birds walk, especially pigeons, like bigger birds,
Their
they just have a
heads.
little waddle, and they're, yeah. Carlos says I left my drawing of the stream follow along tab on Discord. Oh, cool, so we can check out.
Oh, I'm excited to see what you guys were working on today. If you were drawing yourself.
I definitely share. John says some people in power would perhaps see the emergence of the new order as more scary than death itself.
Yeah.
Metal says I'm asleep now. You guys love the stream. Good night, Metal Sausage. Have a good sleep.
Good night. Yeah, I know this is a long one.
Alina says the seagulls in Aberdeen, Scotland were cursed. Way worse than in Helsinki. Okay, now you got me curious. What's up with seagulls? Seagulls and pigeons both have these like traumatic pasts.
I didn't know seagulls had this much of a folklore history to them.
Well, and then sometimes too, then when you learn about these things, I kind of pretend that like every seagull I see or like pigeon knows about their origin, even though they have no idea. But who
They're
knows?
just
Maybe they
aware of
do.
it.
They could.
Well, then I think I'm going to stop the stream here so you can kind of see the progress we made today. So I definitely got a lot darker. I actually didn't do any of the face. I might do that off stream then. But yeah, I should have this one done in the next week or two, and then I'll move on to the next. But
Do you think you'll?
actually, regardless, I'll work on the next card next live stream.
I was asked for next stream. Do you
Yeah,
think?
so this
Okay.
one I'll kind of finish on my own time. So if you're following me on Patreon, you'll see the updates and you'll get to see me draw the face and everything. But I think for everyone else, you're going to have to wait until I post the final. And then, yeah, thank you all for coming to this live stream. This was another great one. I learned a lot today, and I hope you guys had a good time too. So if you want to join us again, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday for a while, actually. And yeah, I think next week maybe the King of Clubs. I guess we'll see how I'm feeling. I might do the Queen of Hearts. I'm feeling her right now a little bit too. Either way, hopefully we'll see you next week. And yeah, take care, everyone. Josh, any last minute goodbye you want to say?
Gonna start reading Bear the Nightingale. Thank you, Ella and Alina. And gonna read up on pigeons and seagulls. Jen's just wrote something else interesting too, so
Yeah.
gonna check out pigeons.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
All right.
Okay,
Goodbye,
bye everyone.
everybody.
Bye 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 bye.
Oh my god. Goodbye.
Why did you say bye?